It is the debut of USL Soccer. At First Tennessee Park. Tonight, it's Nashville SC and their any weather, any place supporters welcoming the undefeated and top of the table visitors, the Charlotte Independents. 3 points, they're up for grabs under the lights in Germantown. It was one of the coldest April days in Nashville's history. A stormy and snowy afternoon has given way to a crisp and cold evening as we welcome you into our broadcast. The Charlotte Independents, the league leaders in the Eastern Conference. They are the opponent tonight for Nashville SC as we welcome you into our broadcast position here at First Tennessee Park. Excited to have you with us. I'm John Freeman, joined by 102.5 The Game morning show host Braden Gall, a guy who's covered the team since its inception. And Braden, what a matchup this is tonight. You get Charlotte, the best team in the Eastern Conference, early here against a Nashville defense that hasn't allowed a goal in over 200 minutes.
Yeah, and that is the big storyline for us, I think, tonight is how does Nashville SC stack up against one of the best teams in the conference right now? One of the best offenses, very explosive. We know Coach Gary Smith wants to get off to a fast start, get the crowd behind them, get a lot of energy going. Should be a lot of fireworks tonight for sure.
Speaking defensively, Nashville signed David Edgar earlier this week, the Canadian international. Nada Taha is down in the field, the third member of our broadcast crew for more. Nada.
Yeah, it is cold down here, John. But earlier before the game, I had a minute to talk to Coach Gary Smith about what signing David Edgar has done to the team.
Well, David's a very, very experienced central defender. And as you well know, we've had an injury to London Woodbury. David was available on a free transfer. And given where David's played internationally, Premier League, he's played at the very highest level. He was an individual that we really were delighted to add to the group. And I'm sure that it'll give us something very special in that back line.
Yeah, and Coach also talked about getting 3 points in last week's game, what kind of confidence that brings to all the players on the team. So we'll see how that pans out tonight. Back to you, John.
Thank you, Nada. Nashville sitting at 4 points early in this season. Will David Edgar crack the starting 11 in his debut? We'll find out next. Our starting lineups coming up on MyTV 30. The table is set. The teams have been brought out onto the field. It is Nashville SC and the Charlotte Independents, the top team in the East through 3 games. As we get ready to dive into our starting lineups, first we will start with the starting 11 for the Charlotte Independents. It's Andrew Dykstra, the goalkeeper. A lot of options up top. Caleb Calvert, the striker. But the player that you like, Braden, so much is Jorge Herrera, the timeless Colombian.
Yeah, real easy to pick him out of the group. A little undersized at 5'9", but a ton of experience at 37 years old. 74 goals and a fan favorite in a Charlotte uniform. The offense flows through him. Also keep an eye on Cordell Cato and Caleb Calvert as well. 4 goals already this season for Herrera and his head coach, Mike Jeffries, the only head coach that Charlotte has ever had. Now in his 4th season, does have MLS experience, was the 2002 MLS Coach of the Year with Dallas. Let's take a look at Nashville's starting 11. Of course, it is Matt Pickens in the back, but looking up top, it's Alan Wynn getting his 2nd straight start at forward, pairing with Michael Cox. The straw that stirs the drink, though, is Lebo Moloto. Yeah, no question the offense more explosive last week against Bethlehem with Taylor Washington and Alan Wynn, but definitely Lebo Moloto is the guy in the middle of the offense. The whole thing runs through him, and if he can find success tonight early, Nashville SC has an opportunity to get on the board early.
Gary Smith is the head coach for Nashville SC. He said, quote, "If we execute the game plan, I fully expect to beat them." Nashville with 1 win this year. It came last week against the Bethlehem Steel. The supporters have yet to see a win in the USL at home this season. It is the first USL game at First Tennessee Park. Of course, Nashville, its USL first home game against Pittsburgh was at Nissan Stadium just across town. Final preparations for Matt Pickens. Quickly, our injury report for Nashville SC. London Woodbury is out. Charlotte is without Young-Soo Lee and Donnie Smith, 2 starting center backs. Our official today is Elvis Osmanovic. He has officiated 1 USL game this year. He issued 6 yellow cards and a straight red in the final 40 minutes of that match. Well, on a blustery cold night at First Tennessee Park, it's the Queen City versus Music City. Top of the table, Charlotte. Rising and roaring Nashville. It is on from the state's capital. Charlotte in blue and Nashville in the gold. Charlotte 2-1-0 this season. Started their campaign, 2 straight wins. They drew last week 2-2 against Atlanta United 2. A game that Mike Jeffries, their head coach, said he was absolutely not pleased with the result. All 3 of Charlotte's games have been at home, and he said we should have taken all 9 points in those 3 games.
It can be very interesting to see what the strategy is for both teams here. How aggressive are both coaches, and how do they want to be with a lot on the line here early on?
First touches in the midfield, Bolu Akinyodi, one of the many players that was inserted into the starting lineup for Nashville against Bethlehem Steel that really had a big impact. Akinyodi, the Nigerian, Alan Wynn as well, the player that played at North Carolina along with Tucker Hume. He gets the start again after that solid performance against Bethlehem. We hope to see more of him today as most of the possession on the offensive side for Nashville.
I think a lot of fans very interesting to see what Alan Wynn can do. A lot of opportunity last week against Bethlehem. Didn't get the job done, didn't finish, but a lot of opportunity.
Taylor Washington's cross will go out for a goal kick. Continuing our discussion of Alan Wynn, Gary Smith told us when we were talking to him earlier this week, in that game against Bethlehem, Alan Wynn covered more ground than any other Nashville SC player has this entire season in any game.
Big fan of the sabermetrics and the numbers. I think it's a part of every sport right now, and soccer's no different. And Alan Wynn, a guy who's clearly proven he can cover a ton of ground. He's an exceptional 2-way guy, and again, last week created a ton of opportunities for this team, just didn't finish the plays when he needed to.
Charlotte, as I said, without 2 of its starting center backs. Young-Soo Lee, a player that has played for the South Korean national team and has scored 2 goals in the World Cup. He is out with injury, as is the homegrown player Donnie Smith. So they are on their 3rd string center back. It is Henry Kalungi, 25 in blue, who gets the start tonight.
And talking with this coaching staff, I think they want to go after the left side there. Young Sam Vines, just an 18-year-old
And obviously that's, again, where Alan Wynn's name comes up again. That's the direction the coaching staff wants to attack this defense for Charlotte.
There's Wynn drawing the foul. Wynn scored 11 goals in 17 games for UNC last year, on his way to an All-American campaign on the collegiate level. It's a bright start for Nashville. They've controlled the possession. Forward is Justin Davis, trying to catch the sprinting Taylor Washington, who's causing problems down that flank. And Nashville's going to get a corner kick here.
And that's something we saw a ton of last week. Taylor Washington pushing tempo, pushing pressure up the field, and creating, and in Pittsburgh as well, 2 weeks ago, creating a lot of opportunity for the offense late in that game. It was Taylor Washington. Since he's been injected into the lineup, the offense has been more productive.
It is our first Coca-Cola corner kick. Targets in the box include Michael Cox and Bolo Akinyoti. Corner whipped in, and rising high to claim it was Andrew Dykstra, the 32-year-old goalkeeper.
Pretty well struck there. A lot of bodies in there, and an excellent job by the goaltender to come up and snag that.
Dykstra later on this season will most likely take a backup role as goalkeeper. The normal goalkeeper, Brandon Miller, was out with an injury, injured his thumb in the preseason. And it's been Dykstra who has started every single game for Charlotte.
He's only faced 4 saves all season, so hasn't had a ton of work yet this season.
Also not a player that is very aggressive. Dykstra just 1 catch and 1 punch this entire season. A pure shot stopper.
That's a good thing for a keeper, right?
It's their main responsibility, of course. Really buzzing start for Nashville. First foray for Charlotte. Joel Johnson, the outside back. Connects with Cordell Cato. Trinidad and Tobago international. Returns to Johnson. Akinyoti in hot pursuit. Cato, quick service, cleared away by Doyle. Flicked along towards Michael Cox.
Excellent positioning there by Doyle, of course, and expect Joel Johnson. That's going to be something we see all night. Joel Johnson likes to get active and likes to send it into the box out wide.
Gary Smith told us the keys to result tonight: press the ball higher up the field because Nashville is at home. They don't want to allow a Charlotte team that enjoys keeping possession to have much time on the ball, and so far so good. In what is now the 6th minute. Booming ball by Pickens, trying to seek out Cox. Finds the 18-year-old, forward for Alex Martinez. Nashville's won it back with Wynn. And they'll have a free kick on the offensive side of the field as the captain, Michael Reed, chopped down. And Reed a little slow to get up.
Reed dives in there, just they knock ankles there a little bit, so you want to make sure he's all right, but an opportunity on offense in the offensive zone.
Reed seems to be all right as he slaloms through the defense. Wynn is wide, Kimura overlapping. Wynn cutting inwards. Alan Wynn whips a shot. Was blocked on the way. Out as far as Martinez. Charlotte thrives in counterattacking situations. Herrera, the 37-year-old Colombian. Martinez. In the middle of the park, Ian Ekra. Joel Johnson has made a deep run, tracked by Davis, goes sliding in and extracts the possession. Sweet tackle by Davis, and now Nashville on the run. Down the far sideline at full gallop is Melodo. Slips wide for Cox, who is offside. The flag is up on the near wing. Keep up to date with Nashville SC all season long by visiting NashvilleSC.com. Access the latest team news, content, merchandise, ticket offers, promotions, and more. Check out NashvilleSC.com today.
I think if you're head coach Gary Smith, you're satisfied. You're not excited overly, but satisfied with the start. This is a very good Charlotte team, and to have some opportunities early, I think, is a positive sign for this squad.
Charlotte coming off a wild game against Atlanta United. A goal for each team in the final 15 minutes of that contest. Nashville pushing the issue. Cox was the target in the box. The cross came in from Washington. Recycled backwards for Akinyoti. Reed. Wynn teeing up the shot, and that is just high and wide.
That is what the coaching staff has been talking about with Alan Wynn all week. How to get him into the right position to succeed. Here he takes it, takes a nice, excellent reception here from Melodo, and then turns, and athletic maneuver for sure. Ambitious maneuver, but still active in the offensive zone.
Gary Smith told us that Alan Wynn, quote, adds energy and invention.
Well, it's easy to do that when at his age and his experience level. That's one thing he should have in spades. And kind of refining his game and honing his game is something he's going to have to work on, but certainly brings a lot of energy and invention, no question.
Easy to have energy in your early 20s.
Seems like a long time ago.
Because it was. Well, that's a poor clearance by the goalkeeper, Dykstra. Pulled back by Michael Cox. Wynn. Flick forward, Melodo able to turn. Lebo Melodo. Sprayed wide for Cox. It's a heavy first touch. Akinyoti getting involved. Kimura, the Japanese midfielder. Trying to seek out Reed. One back by Akinyoti, who falls down and draws the foul. Real good chance here for Nashville if they take their time to whip in across.
I think, again, if you're head coach Gary Smith, I think this is exactly this type of start, the type of possession you wanted in the offensive zone. Get the crowd into it early, give this team a home field advantage.
Candidates to take the free kick are Justin Davis and Michael Reed. Some big looming targets in the box, including Michael Cox and Bolo Akinyoti. Cross comes in, nearly getting ahead to it, and flicking it wide was Bradley Bourgeois of Nashville. Bourgeois not the tallest of the players in the area.
Pretty solid service again, just like the corner, just missed. Bourgeois just missing on connecting with that, maybe going back post with a header.
Pushing the back call will go against Nashville. Well, so far, Braden, we talked about and hyped up so much how dangerous the Charlotte team is. Caleb Calvert, the USL veteran, and then Jorge Herrera, over 70 career goals in this league, 4 already this season, and they have barely seen the ball.
Yeah, it's been a good start for Nashville SC, and again, very talented offensive squad, so you expect to counter soon.
Long ball over the top, trying to pick out Calvert. Easily policed by Liam Doyle. Turning quickly was Melodo, and he was hauled down on the turn by Bilal Duckett, the captain, and he may get a talking to from Elvis Osmanovic. And wow, the yellow card coming out early on the first foul for Duckett. And while Osmanovic, as I said before the game started, his last game was Charleston versus FC Cincinnati, his only USL game this year. He dished out 6 yellow cards and a straight red in the final 40 minutes of that game. And he reaches into the pocket quite quickly. A little tug from Duckett.
Excellent turn by Melodo there, and of course, pretty obvious call with possession and space to move.
So now Charlotte with a center back and their captain. 88 minutes of regulation time on a yellow card.
On a back line that's already missing a couple of guys, missing a couple of starters without Lee and Smith. Should be very interesting to keep an eye on that as well.
Meloto trying to gain the inline and does. Square ball across. Player down in the box. Appeals for a penalty and none given. And now Charlotte a chance to spring the counterattack at the feet of the Colombian Herrera. We'll have to wait on the replay. A Nashville player who was a candidate to take that centering pass went spilling to the turf. Didn't see a lot of appeals from any of his teammates. It's the flop ball from Martinez. Done by Davis. Win, a touch forward. Just in the way was Kalungi. Kimura down. Wanted the quick restart. And the ball was rolling when he kicked it. Here's the play in the box. You see Meloto getting the great position, and then look for a gold jersey down on the floor. It was Cox, and I just don't see anything there, Brady.
Yeah, it's hard to find anything, and generally if it's that obvious and that egregious of a call, you're going to see other people react pretty heavily, and nobody really reacted. So.
Cox is onside. Michael Cox just wide. It was on a platter for the Canadian, and he nearly gives Nashville its first goal from the run of play in USL action. Perfect first touch, and the finish just wasn't there.
And that is what the coaching staff has been talking about. They've put themselves in positions to make plays and haven't been able to finish, but man, excellent service there as well up the field. Great run by Michael Cox, just missing the far post.
Nashville SC content, prizes, promotions, and behind-the-scenes action. Follow our handle,
Cox has
SC.
Nashville's only USL goal this season. It was a penalty kick scored in the first 5 minutes against the Bethlehem Steel in Nashville's last contest. Coolly took it. The boys in gold pushing the issue. They have jumped all over Charlotte from the beginning of this game, 15th minute, and it has been all Nashville so far.
Yeah, and I think that 15 to 20 minute mark was really what you wanted to see and evaluate this team. What does that first 15 to 20 minutes look like? And this team in gold has done a job to keep the fans interested. Excellent offensive possession.
Kimura on the flank. Left-footed cross comes in high. Bourgeois involved. Cordell Cato wins out. 25-year-old sprays the ball into no man's land. Look at Wynn tracking back. Covers so much ground. This is a starting forward for Nashville, and he comes all the way back to win that possession.
Energy and innovation, right?
In fitness.
Yes.
Buzzing start for Nashville. ESPN Plus is the new streaming home of the USL in the United States. Watch all the action throughout the 2018 regular season and USL Cup playoffs starting on Saturday, April 14th. Visit uslsoccer.com for more details. Of course, you can still catch the games as they are regularly scheduled right here on MyTV 30 as well. Could miss your partner, one and done here.
We have not seen a ton of offensive possession from Charlotte, but even when they have, you've seen the flashes and how dangerous they can be.
Kimura and Cox combining. Charlotte digs in. Kosuke Kimura finds Meloto. Back heel flick towards Cox. Cox winning it. Just nearly got there. Banged away as far as Doyle. Sprays wide for Washington. Retreats to Davis. Michael Cox has been a bull and a china shop to start, and he is giving this back line of Charlotte all kinds of problems.
The coaching staff expects a little bit more out of him with that athletic ability, quickness, already showing that he almost put one in earlier.
What a ball this is by Doyle to pick out Alan Wynn. Downloads it in the corner. As Kimura to provide support, Alan Wynn weaving his way through a challenge. Flipped high by Cato and recovered by Johnson. And Bolu Akinyodi once again has found possession. Reed squaring his shoulders. Bourgeois. Camara. Reed. Got bowled over by Calvert and draws the foul. Smart move by Reed, just got his shoulders in front of the forward.
Easy call there. And a very dangerous spot on the field. An opportunity here for Nashville SC to create some offense again. First 20 minutes, 4 or 5 really excellent chances.
It's a tricky spot, Braden. It's too far out for a real strike on goal, but it's enough to keep Andrew Dykstra honest on his line.
Akinyoti, always a big target down there.
Justin Davis and Michael Reed still discussing. Two-man wall of Martinez and Cato. Davis, left-footed service going back post. Kalunji got ahead to it. Doyle on the sideline, flicked along to Bourgeois. First time service towards the head of Cox. Recovering again is Doyle. All 11 behind the ball for Charlotte. Nashville as the visitors and the table-topping team. First in the East, Charlotte is absolutely pinned back.
Absolutely, and I think you love to see the amount of cross after cross after cross, putting the ball into the dangerous territory, something you hadn't seen with this team against Pittsburgh and hadn't seen against Bethlehem, even though they played a man up in most of that game.
Martinez has found a pasture here on the near wing. Squaring up and running right at the defense. Overlapping was the 18-year-old Sam Vines, and Alan Wynn came all the way back to bother that pass and see it out of bounds in front of the supporters.
We have talked about 19 a lot already, not even 20 minutes into this game.
Supporters have been here for hours. They've been pre-gaming since roughly maybe 1 or 2. They want to turn this building into a fortress.
Safely and responsibly, though, of course.
Still waiting on your sources for that. They are a bunch of fun. The supporters really are. And Gary Smith told us that if he has the choice, he wants his team in the second half attacking towards the supporters section. Says when you see a sea of gold behind the goal, that he expects his team to almost will the ball in and be inspired.
Yeah, I like the terminology there. Suck the ball into the goal almost. And it should be a ton of energy. Certainly the field very even. Not a lot of moisture. The snow held off today. The lungs probably burning a little bit with the cool air, but a very balanced field tonight. Good shape.
High pressure. Calmly dissolved by Charlotte. Tracking back was Wynn. On forward by Bourgeois. Being claimed by Henry Kalunji, who has found himself in the starting lineup, the 30-year-old defender from Uganda. 15 appearances for the Uganda national team. He's replacing the injured Donnie Smith and Young-Soo Lee today. Kalunji very experienced, over 100 USL appearances. He was voted the top defender on the team last year. So that's your third-string center back. You've got a good option as a Charlotte player down. And it's Alex Martinez, the injured party.
Supporters not sure about that one. Gonna have to see a replay. But they're totally unbiased, of course.
Martinez, the midfielder, was born in Uruguay, moved to the United States at age 9. He played all of last year with his brother Enzo Martinez, who was a USL MVP candidate who has since moved on to the Colorado Rapids in the MLS. So it's just a one Martinez show this season for Charlotte. They are fiery brothers, energetic brothers, and sometimes combative. Martinez was suspended 4 games last year for an incident with an opposing player, which was alleged that he actually spit at the player. So take that for what it's worth. A Charlotte team that is not afraid to step up into a physical contest. Vines finds Martinez. Nearly turned over by Ekra, and it's won by Michael Cox. Kimura lobbing forward. Wynn. Oh, a misplay in Allen Wynn. Down the right side, cuts it back. Allen Wynn, fire it up! Allen Wynn strikes! Nashville has the breakthrough! Bedlam in the supporters section.
A clear mistake by Charlotte. One nifty touch back into the penalty area and the left foot to the back post. Brilliantly executed, and the man that we have talked about all night so far, number 19, Allen Wynn. This has been a different team since he was injected into the lineup last week.
First goal from the run of play for Nashville all year. First goal of the season in gold for Allen Wynn. And First Tennessee Park has come alive. Nashville has taken the lead on the league leaders, the first place team in the East, and undefeated Charlotte. It was a misplay in that makeshift back line for the Independents.
We talked about this, Coach. The coaching staff for Nashville SC wanted to attack that back left spot. They've talked about it all week. We thought Allen Wynn and Kosuke Kimura would be the guys to do that. And sure enough, that's been the game plan all game.
Secure your place in line for MLS tickets and don't miss any of the action in 2018. Purchase your season ticket memberships today at NashvilleSC.com/season tickets and receive a 10% discount on purchases at Nashville SC online shop. And we've been told there are less than 400 season tickets remaining. I've got 2 of them.
As do I.
And they are running out quickly.
We will also be responsible, of course.
If you want to see a 2-hour commercial to buy those season tickets, you're watching it right now. This is a special place. And what a moment it was. Allen Wynn, Nashville's first USL goal from the run of play, and he wants more. And we have a budding star. The confidence, you can feel it from up here.
And what a difference from just last week, where he get himself into those positions and sort of sometimes too aggressive, sometimes too conservative. But I think tonight is sort of finding that rhythm, and clearly a lot of confidence on an ambitious strike there.
Gary Smith told us the keys to the game: disrupt early possessions, press the ball higher up the field, start the game brightly, and bring in the outside wing players. Check, 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 and check. They have done everything that they've wanted to do.
I would love to be able to say start the game brightly as he does, but I cannot. I am unable.
Gary Smith is one for words as Nashville building the attack. And just too far.
I think you mentioned earlier the physicality that Charlotte doesn't mind playing with. I don't think Gary Smith's squad minds that either. Guys like Michael Reed, the captain, of course, Akinyoti, not afraid to use their size.
Gary Smith, a former manager in England, was the manager for Stevenage in the English 3rd Division. And usually when you go to the lower rings of the English divisions, you build a team that is very durable and very sturdy and has a physical presence to it. And that's what he's done here in Nashville. But he's also got some speed, some endurance, some quickness and athleticism, and players like Allen Wynn and Michael Cox, and also a player on the bench that we may see later today, and Ropapa Mensah as well, the goal scorer in Nashville's first ever game, the friendly at this very park against Atlanta United.
And of course a lot of buzz as well about the recent signing David Edgar, a guy with a ton of ability. Fans already interested in seeing what he's capable of. Not quite ready to be in the starting lineup, but a guy very, very talented. A lot of experience, EPL, national team with Canada.
Now, if you're Charlotte, how do you get this thing kick-started? It has been all Nashville. Got our intern Austin in the booth with us tonight, keeping track of touches, and see how many touches Charlotte has had in the attacking third. Maybe just a handful.
Jorge Herrera, the star there, has a lot of opportunity with a lot of space to work. They're making him really, really earn it. That's obviously the focal point. He's the guy that makes it all go. And he's not had a lot of opportunity tonight.
Nashville humming now with Kimura. Alan Wynn, the goal scorer in the corner. A one-on-one against the teenager Vines. Pulls it back for Kimura. Pondering a service. Rolled further back to Reed. Bourgeois switches the point of attack as far as Davis, the former Minnesota United man.
When your team's playing with this much confidence, you don't want to pull them back. You don't want them to. You want to slow them down. You want to continue to push, be aggressive. You got to be careful about it, obviously, but you want to continue to push and be aggressive. You're finding success. Don't pull back at all.
Dykstra with Wynn bearing down. Is a Charlotte team that has an affiliation with the Colorado Rapids. And because of that, they get several players on loan. It's not like a couple other setups in the USL where teams like Atlanta United 2 or Toronto 2, they get players back and forth from the pro team, almost like a minor league baseball team would, to bring in a pitcher off rehab or a pitcher who needs a couple extra games. When Charlotte gets players from Colorado, they get them on full season loans. And they've got a couple of those players. One of them is Andrew Dykstra. Another one of them is Caleb Calvert, the starting forward.
As well as just the 18-year-old Sam Vines on the back left there for him. Clearly very talented.
Once again, Wynn makes the touch, but was it over the inline? It was. Here, exclusive stories directly from the USL players and USLsoccer.com's From the Pitch, with written and video content that provides unfiltered access and a first-person look into the professional game and players' everyday lives. Continuing on the point about the affiliation that Charlotte has with the Colorado Rapids, an interesting storyline is that Alan Wynn was drafted by the Rapids this year, declined a contract with that MLS team, wanted to be part of building this club here in Nashville. And, well, if he hadn't done that, he could have very well been assigned to this Charlotte team had he not made the first team at the Colorado Rapids.
Certainly Nashville SC supporters very happy about that decision.
Yeah, and Wynn's been a problem today. Already a goal and has been all over the field.
Even going back to the preseason, the friendly with Atlanta United, Wynn, it was noticeable, the talent. Still very young, inexperienced, but noticeable that his ability is there.
Here comes Sam Vines. Now Cordell Cato finds his fellow international teammate Kevon George. They both play for the Trinidad and Tobago national team. George, in fact, played a full 90 in that now infamous game in which the United States was eliminated from World Cup qualifying.
We don't have to bring that up, do we?
Just did. That just gives you a sense of how much talent is out on the field for Charlotte. They've got some ball players. A couple players with international experience. One player that's out today with World Cup experience, Young Soo Lee. And then they've also got an outside back who's in right now, Joel Johnson. You see him with the orange shoes, who's defending that side that Nashville's attacking. I'll tell you about Johnson in a second, as he just plowed over Michael Cox away from the ball.
Michael knows all about him now.
Yes,
there's no question about that.
Johnson, the outside back for Charlotte, was one of the top 5 backs voted on by media in the USL last year. came up through the Valencia system, a team in Spain in La Liga, and he started a La Liga game as a 17-year-old. As Alan Wynn has found inroads down the far sideline, wants a trial with the outside back Vines and is whistled for the foul. Continuing my point about Johnson, so he starts as a 17-year-old in a La Liga game for Valencia. His teammates that day, check this, were players named David Villa.
I've heard of him.
David Silva.
Also heard of him.
And Juan Mata.
Unbelievable.
And guess who he got picked over in the starting lineup? An outside back named Jordi Alba.
What were you doing when you were 17 years old?
I was playing FIFA, probably, probably not as Valencia. I think that was FIFA 98 with David Beckham at Manchester United.
The old Sega Genesis.
Can Charlotte get anything going this half? Matt Pickens has been merely a spectator. Here is Johnson, the Spaniard, driving right at Davis. Calvert, top of the 18, triple teamed, extracted by Reed. Meloto's been on the floor several times. Lebo Meloto, the new father. His wife, Lauren, gave birth on Monday to a little baby boy named Josiah. And the supporter section actually sang happy birthday to Josiah during the pregame warm-ups.
I'm sure he's getting plenty of sleep right now, as all new parents tend to do.
Gary Smith told us that he pulled Lebo Meloto early in the second half in the Bethlehem Steel game, not because he was injured, but just because he had been under the stress of being a soon-to-be father and had a couple sleepless nights, and just saw that stress on Meloto, and with the game somewhat in hand, a goal up and a man up, took Meloto out to give him some rest. And Lebo Meloto has actually been on baby watch for about 2 weeks, and they've had plans in place to be able to get him home from games in case his wife went into labor. And Gary Smith said just perfectly that the birth happened on Monday, just as they had planned.
Excellent news. Everybody doing well and healthy and happy. And as any parent has ever been with a couple of days left to go in the pregnancy, high stress. High stress time.
Now, isn't that you right now?
It is, in fact, yes. A couple of days away, and my job's slightly less stressful than Lebo Meloto, no question.
I don't know. I think playing Central Mid's a little more fun than the 6 a.m. start to the radio show. Can Nashville get a corner out of this? Instead, it'll be a very deep throw-in. There is the new father, Meloto. There is the young Taylor Washington, who has been a spark. His second straight start. And the attacking end for Nashville, over 80% passing accuracy in this contest. In Nashville in this game, 74% of the possession.
That's an incredible number, considering even a man up for most of the first half last week against Bethlehem. Bethlehem still had 54% possession, playing with a man down. To see that one of the highest scoring offenses, the team atop the table, come in here, and for Nashville to execute pretty much exactly what Gary Smith and this team and this coaching staff wanted them to do, very impressive. Very impressive. Long way to go, but very impressive. This is not a middle of the pack, bottom of the table team that they are playing against. This is a very good squad with a lot of offensive weapons, and I would expect we'll see Cordell Cato, Caleb Calvert, Jorge Herrera have something to say about this before it's all said and done.
And the fire inside, Alex Martinez has been stoked. There's a little pushing and shoving. Boluak and Yodi got involved with Martinez, Joel Johnson as well. I mean, if you're upset about that,
yeah,
that's a pretty quick trigger.
74% possessions will do that to somebody.
Calvert is onside. Caleb Calvert, no, the flag is up. It came up right as he struck the ball. It was a slippery run behind the defense. And no arguments from the striker. He must have known. The ball came from Ian Ekra.
Hard to see it there. Clearly looked like he was behind him. Tough call, excellent run, just too early.
The classic striker looking over the shoulder as the ball strikes the net. He must have known in the back of his head. Nashville's forced a turnover and a nice little spot here in the attacking end. Davis distributes to Washington, trying to turn on Johnson and got double teamed on that sideline. Ekra. Herrera, who's been bottled up. Martinez being pressured. Connects with the Trinidad and Tobago international Kevon George. And now Charlotte wants to attack down the near wing. Cato. Hard to miss him in the bright shoes. George. Cato. Bourgeois goes sliding. Cato's cross. Hindered by Bourgeois. And that ball went out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick for the home team. And Bradley Bourgeois up to the task against Cordell Cato, a quite dangerous player. It's Cato over 100 MLS games for the San Jose Earthquakes. Bourgeois went down, but the athleticism to get back up. And that finally went off of Cato, and well, debates about whether it went out of bounds. But nevertheless, Nashville in the goal kick. Soccer fans, pick up the latest NSC gear today online at shop.nashvillesc.com or come by our team store located at 650 Rundle Avenue. Cox, Kamura, offside.
Not sure if that was going anywhere from the beginning, but behind the line again. Going back to Bourgeois, excellent effort there, just to continue the work. Get the call.
Out leaping Calvert. Watched out by Wynn. Nashville with 4 points this season. 1-1-1 overall. This is just their second home game. Boy, and they got a tough schedule to start. You go on the road in the opener at Louisville. Then you get a Pittsburgh team that hasn't allowed a goal all season. And go on the road to Bethlehem, and then you get the league leaders in Charlotte. But wow, if Nashville can walk away 7 points through its first 4 games in its inaugural season, that is a dream start for a first-year franchise.
No question about it. And to do it in 4 separate buildings as well. They've had a lot of adjustments each week.
Cato marauding through the midfield. Herrera spraying it wide. A pasture of space for Vines. Martinez into a quadruple team. Once more Vines, player who's on loan from the Colorado Rapids. Listed as their top youth prospect. George puts Ekra in a tough spot. Flag is up for offside. Davis got pushed in the back, and Davis not too happy about the push from Calvert.
You know, it appeared that Herrera, with the excellent ball out wide to the left side. As we look at the foul.
Knew exactly what he was doing. And so did Davis. That's a rough smile from Davis. Davis was actually a forward in college. He's converted now to defense. Spent 7 years at Minnesota United, 3 times on the NASL Best 11. And he's been about as dependable as April Allergies for Nashville.
which everyone in Nashville knows this season. 81 day, 38 the next. The allergies have affected many of us.
Now there is a tradition that when Justin Davis scores by the supporter section, he has been known to leap into it and request a beverage and drink it on the spot. So be prepared for that scene when it happens, if it does.
Just need some extra electrolytes, or?
Exactly. Nashville building with Reed. Ekra a touch. Reed goes flying in. It'll be a free kick for Charlotte. Which teams are hitting peak performance in the USL? Find out every Monday afternoon when the USLsoccer.com power rankings are released to see where your team ranks after its most recent results. Charlotte was way up those power rankings, and they have run into a roadblock tonight. A feisty Nashville SC team who leads by the first half goal from Alan Wynn at First Tennessee Park.
This Charlotte team second in the USL in goals, one of the better crossing teams in the league. Nashville right now 7 crosses, Charlotte only the 1. That's excellent defense on one side of the field, excellent offensive possession on the other for Nashville SC.
Keep in mind, Nashville played almost an entire game against Bethlehem with a player up. They still don't have many crosses. The game plan has been executed tonight to a T. They have shut down Joel Johnson, the outside back for Charlotte, who's one of the top players in the USL. Taylor Washington has been marking him almost the entire game, and Johnson, so few touches.
We have not talked about Taylor Washington too much on the offensive end. That is why. He has been all over Joel Johnson. 8th in the USL with 21 crosses right now. Johnson is.
Cato nearly got there at a full gallop. Herrera switching the point of attack. He's involved Martinez. Pulls it back to his left. Alex Martinez tees it up with the left foot. That's the closest Charlotte's been this half. And that'll be their final chance of the half. No stoppage time deemed by Elvis Usmanovic. It is Nashville that will take the lead into the locker room. A buzzing, energetic, and bright first half for the boys in gold, and a standing ovation from the supporters.
Independence 0. Today's halftime is presented by Nissan.
Nashville off the goal from Alan Wynn, the young forward in his second career start. They take the lead over the league-leading Charlotte Independence. Well, still plenty to talk about. We'll have our first half highlights and first half stats. But at First Tennessee Park, it's Nashville 1 and Charlotte 0 in Middle Tennessee. Well, it snowed today in Middle Tennessee, but the start of this one was a hotly contested affair in Nashville SC in its first ever USL game at First Tennessee Park. Takes the 1-0 lead into the locker room. It was the goal from Alan Wynn that is the difference so far, as Nashville SC up top over the table-topping Independence from Charlotte. Glad to have you with us back here on our halftime show presented by Nissan. I'm John Freeman, joined by Braden Gall. And Braden, the supporters certainly got what they wanted, a goal in the first half, the first from the run of play for Nashville this season.
And no question what Gary Smith wanted. The head coach talked all week about getting off to a hot start, getting more offensive pressure, and controlling the ball more in that half of the field and that half of the pitch. And of course, Alan Wynn, a big part of that. We knew that this team wanted to go down the right flank at the left back, this 18-year-old young Sam Vines, and that has worked to perfection the entire evening. And that's a team that it's execution that's been excellent.
And the stats are going to reflect Nashville's dominance in this first half as we pull it up. The possession, ooh, that's 55-45. I don't know how that scored because it felt like Nashville had the ball for most of the half. But look at the shots. This is a Charlotte team that leads the USL with 8 goals. They don't have a single shot in this contest.
Yeah, Nashville coming in 21st in the league in total shots with just 26. So you can see on pace for 12 right now. Excellent job by the offense.
Well, Nashville with the 1-goal advantage at halftime over the top team in the East. The supporters, well, the Nashville team will be attacking towards them in the second half. Will there be another goal in this one? We find out as our Nissan halftime show continues. First Tennessee Park is the venue tonight, in Nashville SC, after 45 minutes of soccer, has completely dominated Charlotte on the possessions and the total passes. And then in the scoring column, it's Nashville with the 1-goal lead. The goal coming from Alan Wynn. That sent the supporters into a tizzy as we welcome you back to our Nissan halftime show. I'm John Freeman, and while we're up in the booth where it's nice and warm, the third member of our broadcast crew, not so fortunate down on the field in the cold. It is not a Taha. Nada, what's it like down there?
It is not warm. We are cold down here, and you can see with my beanie, I've got my hand warmers in the pockets, but we're making it work. Hey, we're up 1-0. That's all that matters.
And Nada, you've got a special segment. You went box to box with a Nashville player.
Yeah, so every week I get to spend some time with some of the players, and this week it was number 7, Ryan James, and we asked him some pretty interesting questions. Hey guys, this is Box to Box with Nada, and I'm with Ryan James, number 7. You ready to go?
Yep, let's go.
Okay, let's go. What is your spirit animal?
Spirit animal. I'd have to say a lion.
Why?
Just very aggressive, I find a lion very humbling as well. So
Interesting.
I'd like to go with a lion.
Have you ever pet a lion before?
Of course not. That seems ludicrous to me. But
it is. But you know,
if I got the chance,
I have to ask. Maybe you have.
No.
Favorite food?
A burger. But if Coach Gary asks, chicken salad.
Got it.
Yeah.
Chicken salad. Edit it out. What position do you sleep in?
I'm gonna say usually on my stomach. Yeah.
Like, do you take up the whole bed? Are you like a
I do spread out. Yes. It's only room for one.
cat or dog person?
I'm a dog person.
Do you have any?
I have no dogs. No.
Do you want one? What would you want?
I think a lab. Yeah. Cat. Not a cat person, just because my parents are allergic to.
I'm a cat person. Be careful what you say next.
I'm a cat person as well. Then yes, you're right.
What's in your fridge all the time?
I would have to say usually chicken and pasta. I guess I'm a typical soccer player.
Yeah, that is pretty typical. What is not typical about you?
I'd have to say I don't know how to sing. I'm not very comfortable singing at all.
That's not really a typical thing.
In my family, it is a typical thing.
Oh, got it. Okay. Well, that was Box to Box with Nada, and this is Ryan James. So you can see all those videos on the Nashville SC social media channels at Nashville SC. But we'll be back. We'll still be cold after the break.
45 minutes gone here at First Tennessee Park. Nashville SC with the 1-0 lead over the Charlotte Independents. Charlotte top of the table in the East, and it's Nashville who takes the advantage with the Allen Wynn goal at First Tennessee Park. Excited to have you with us up here where it's nice and warm, thankfully. I'm John Freeman, joined by Braden Gall. And Braden, that first half, it was all Nashville.
Yeah, complete control, especially in the first 30, 35 minutes there, executing Gary Smith's plan to be offensive and aggressive right out of the gate. They did that, got the crowd into it. Could not have asked for a better first half, no question. And Allen Wynn, the star of the show so far.
It's Wynn who gets the goal. Let's take a look at our first half highlights, and we'll start with Charlotte. There really wasn't much for the Independents on the highlight category as we take a look, and really this was their only chance of the game, Braden. And it just ends up with a shot by Martinez going way over the crossbar.
Did not put a lot on it at all, just kind of flipped it over there. And you can tell the disappointment from him on that effort, and excellent defense the entire time. Herrera 11 touches the entire game.
On the other end, it was Nashville who started out bright and energetic, going right to work. Michael Cox nearly with the opener.
Near perfect touch on that, settling it neatly and going far post, just missed. And of course, obviously, a misplay completely by the back line for Charlotte. One brilliant touch, back to the left foot. Easy goal for Allen Wynn.
It's a sweet strike by Allen Wynn. It's Nashville's first from the run of play this season. Their only other goal this season had come from a penalty kick, and Allen Wynn with a beauty to give Nashville SC the lead. The players are back out from the locker room. They are ready to go. They'll put the clock back on in just a second as Nashville looking to take the 3 points and Gary Smith away from the Charlotte Independents. And Braden, what do you look for in the second half?
Well, I think when you look at the numbers, Jorge Herrera and Caleb Calvert combined 22 touches in the entire first half. You got to expect that number to go up in the second half. You have to think that Coach Jeffries is going to get those two guys involved more on the offense, be more aggressive, and you're going to have an answer for that. So certainly Gary Smith well aware of the job that they've done defensively on those two guys. Very dangerous players. You have to think they're going to be aggressive in the second half.
Charlotte slow to get back out onto the field. And if you're Gary Smith, such a fiery coach and a dream start for Nashville, but you've got to expect a team with so much quality like Charlotte to be able to turn things around and apply a little pressure, and they're going to have to stop that man, Allen Wynn. We mentioned earlier in the broadcast, the last game against Bethlehem Steel for Nashville, that was a win for Nashville SC. Allen Wynn covered more ground in that game than any other Nashville SC player the entire season in his first start, and well, he has been all over the pitch at all corners of it this evening.
Yeah, tremendous game plan from Gary Smith. It started last week, of course. You insert Taylor Washington, you insert Allen Wynn to the lineup. Outside, two-way players. Taylor Washington has done more of the defensive work tonight, of course, having to mark Joel Johnson. But, of course, then you look at the job Allen Wynn has done, and we knew they were going to go down the right side and attack that left back, and that's, of course, exactly what they did. And Allen Wynn found a lot of ground. Michael Cox, Lebo Maloto, not a huge part of the offense, so a guy that could be a big target in the second half.
Nashville will be attacking towards the supporters in this half as the final discussions from Michael Cox and Michael Reed. There are the Charlotte starting 11 in the background. No changes for Mike Jeffries. And there is the wall of supporters that Nashville will be attacking. Gary Smith told us he prefers his team to attack towards the supporters in the second half for inspiration.
Yeah, just the energy, the intensity, the crowd, all part of the plan tonight for this squad to come out in their first ever home regular season match here at First Tennessee Park. And you certainly see the activity behind the goal there will be something that helps Nashville focus, no question about it.
This is a Nashville team. All of the players are so tightly knit. In fact, majority of the players live in the same apartment complex. They spend all of their free time together as well as on the pitch, and they've been enjoying themselves tonight. And it's made for a happy manager in Gary Smith. The former Colorado Rapids coach has a 2010 MLS Cup championship to his name and hopes to bring a trophy here to Music City. Back underway at First Tennessee Park as we enter the second half. Music City versus the Queen City. And Charlotte did make a substitution during the halftime break. and that is Kai Fager, a 31-year-old midfielder from Switzerland. Played at Basel and played in 10 Champions League games. In fact, went to Chelsea FC and won a game, put a full 90 at Stamford Bridge, and he takes out Ian Ekra. So a player with Champions League experience in for Charlotte. And Fager, as we've been told, will be a midfielder tonight, although he played defense for Basel back when he was a teammate of Mo Salah's in Europe. Free kick for Nashville. First touch for Fager. Kalungi tapped it to Washington. Chance for a real strike, and sending it high over the crossbar was the new father, Lebo Malota.
Gotta love the aggressiveness, going back into the box with it very quickly. A little too aggressive there on the strike, however.
His substitution, Mike Jeffries, bringing in Kai Fager for Ian Ekra. There just wasn't much activity from Ekra in the first half, and well, Nashville pushing the issue with Kimura. Nashville SC in the gold, Charlotte in the blue. Kimura, the Japanese midfielder. Combines with Akinyoti. Draws Bradley Bourgeois up from his center back position. And we start the second half just how we started the first half. Pressure on this Charlotte defense, and Kimura has found an advanced position. First time service, and coming in, sweeping it away was Kalungi, and it's out for a corner kick for Nashville SC.
Alan Wynn trying to body up there a little bit, get position, just not enough to get in front of the defender and create some space for himself, but a nice effort there by Kimura.
You can hear the supporters. They have a chant every time Nashville has a corner kick. It is the Coca-Cola corner kick, and it's Justin Davis to provide the service. Corner comes in, Bourgeois rising, gets his forehead to it. And was on his back foot when he made contact. Bourgeois had a couple chances in the box tonight, Brady.
Little long there, going back post. He got a good touch on it, just not on frame.
High pressure from Nashville forces the turnover. Charlotte looks unglued. They have rarely been able to keep possession. A really defiant Nashville effort. They have carried the bulk of the game. The USL official Twitter feed keeps you up to date with news, live game updates, and highlights from around the league 24/7. Follow at USL on Twitter, and well, if you do follow that account, they put up goals of the week and saves of the week, and I think the Alan Wynn strike is definitely going to be a candidate. And is there more for Nashville? Washington's cross towards Wynn, and it's over the head of the North Carolina graduate as Sam Vines watches it out in front of the supporters.
This first 10 minutes critical for Charlotte to find possession, find some offense. As you said, much like the first half, not the case. Nashville dominating possession.
Johnson pinballing around in the midfield. Foul will go on Herrera, taking down Davis. Herrera, the Charlotte hero. Is a Charlotte team that for the longest time played in the USL under the name of the Charlotte Eagles. The Eagles have since become a amateur side, and the Charlotte Independents took over the USL rights from that team, but there's several holdovers from that Eagles roster. So when we say a player has played for Charlotte for quite some time, the Independents have only been around for 4 years in the USL technically, but it's a player like Herrera who has spent almost his entire career in a Charlotte uniform in the USL.
A lot of years there at 37 years old, and a lot of goals, 74 for his career in that uniform. A mainstay and a fan favorite, of course, because he's pretty darn good.
And we've got hope, sir. As 30-year-old somethings, still time for us to get our professional soccer career kick-started.
That's a bold statement. Bold statement there. Although you're a bit younger than I am, so maybe there's still hope for you. I'm not willing to put myself out.
There's not. I'll go ahead and squash that rumor now. Chance coming in. It's in the box, and Pickens, for the first time today, really bothered. And Calvert was the one who got the touch to it. Got caught between a header and a strike, and Matt Pickens was quite busy against Bethlehem, extremely busy against Pittsburgh 2 games ago at Nissan Stadium, and tonight could have almost charged him admission.
Yeah, and you expect Jorge Herrera and Caleb Calvert to get more work in the second half. You have to expect Coach Jeffries to be focused on those guys getting more touches. Only 22 total touches, 11 each in the first half, already playing a factor in the second half.
Neatly brought down by Cox. Kimura, can he get there? He can. Combining back with Cox, the Canadian turns towards the goal. Kimura trying to slip it through, and he was tracked by Vines. That could have nearly been the second for Nashville, if not for the important challenge by the teenager Vines. Nashville using the entire width of the pitch. Washington against Joel Johnson. Melodo, the playmaker. Melodo combines with Wynn. Lebo Melodo trying to chip it over Dykstra. Wishful effort in the end by Melodo. He leads the team in shots. Came in with 9 shots this season. The next closest on the roster was 3 from Alan Wynn.
That was 4th in the USL entering the evening. Nifty little 1-2 there. Couldn't get it on frame.
Reed turning upfield. Pressure building. Akinyodi. Kimura. Charlotte quite committed down a goal. Still committed on defense. They've pressed high and forced to give away. Martinez down the far sideline.
Soccer fans, make sure to visit all the Nashville SC merchandise locations on the continent.
Looked wide for Cato. Johnson is overlapped. Cornell Cato.
Pick up your gear today online at
Send it to the Batman building.
shop.nashvillesc.com or come by our team store.
Somebody in the bandbox gets a souvenir.
They'll get the Select Ball, which is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Receive free shipping on orders over $50.
No bad seat in the house at all, of course, but that bandbox has turned into a fan favorite at all events here at First Tennessee Park for a lot of reasons. A lot of reasons.
Care to divulge, sir?
Yeah, the cornhole boards, excellent. Putt-putt, plenty of libations.
I was waiting for that reason. Braden, you're a Nashville native. Went to high school here. How cool is it to see a professional soccer team in your hometown? It was not even a conversation a couple years ago. And here we are, Nashville with the lead against the top team in the East and the USL.
Yeah, much like everything else in this city, just the growth in the last 10 years has been astounding to watch, and to see a new baseball team build this stadium, and then for a couple of years a soccer squad gets to hang out here before the big new building opens up in a couple of years. It's an amazing transformation just north of downtown in Germantown. Beautiful setting. A little chilly this evening. Has not dampened the spirits of the crowd whatsoever. The play on the field taking care of that.
Johnson got clipped for the foul, opted for a quick restart.
Not a lot of contact there, but got to make the call.
Johnson did ply his trade as a youth player at Valencia, so perhaps more of a European talent there, selling the foul,
sir?
Especially in La Liga, the Spanish league. There are some substitutions being prepared on the far sideline. It looks like for Charlotte. We'll see if we can send poor Frigid Cold Taha down there to investigate. The third member of our broadcast crew. She may be at the hot chocolate tent right now.
It's a veteran maneuver.
Can Nashville unlock this Charlotte defense again? Andy Dykstra, goalkeeper, born in Honolulu. Has 35 MLS appearances for 3 separate teams. His rights are owned by the Colorado Rapids, but he's on loan this year for Charlotte. And Kevon George galloping up the field. Distributed wide for Joel Johnson, the Spaniard. Back to a player in the middle. It's Martinez. Herrera goes down in a heap in a dangerous position. And this is a prime spot for a free kick for the visitors. About 20 yards away from the target, Liam Doyle hauled down Herrera in a difficult spot to defend.
Gets the ball first, but got to call that, and Liam Doyle either not happy with the call or not happy with himself, one of the two.
Matt Pickens calling out the size of his wall. Herrera standing over the ball, trying to tee it up just how he wants it on this pristine surface at First Tennessee Park. That was named the top natural grass surface in the state last year. And he's got it in the sweet spot in the outfield. Pickens has yet to make a save today. Herrera, the Colombian, the club legend, standing over. 6-man wall for Nashville, and Charlotte has put 2 players in it. They'll peel off right before he kicks to try and create a hole in this wall. Herrera steps forward, curling. Oh, what a save by Pickens! Absolute robbery of the Colombian.
Excellent strike, all-out effort, almost hits his face on the goalpost, mobbed by his team afterward. Excellent effort there.
Coca-Cola corner kick coming in. It flies back post. Martinez bringing it to his left. Players got to be careful. It's still Martinez. Cuts it back. Martinez punched away by Pickens. Charlotte knocking on the door again. Herrera just wide. Goodness gracious, 3 clear opportunities for Charlotte. And Matt Pickens continues to keep this scoreless streak alive for his defense.
Another look, excellent ball and a phenomenal save. Highway robbery there from Matt Pickens. He's been doing it all season. That's what he's been doing all season. Then, of course, comes back and gets another one after that. Just excellent pressure there from Charlotte, and you knew they were going to put together some offensive pressure at some point.
Nashville has gone well over 200 minutes without conceding a goal, dating all the way back to the late stages of the the opener of the USL season at Louisville. They haven't conceded since the 66th minute of the opener, and that's the reason why. Matt Pickens, former USL player, excuse me, NASL player at Tampa Bay, but former MLS Cup champion at Colorado under Gary Smith.
And even down a man last week against Bethlehem, the double save from Matt Pickens, probably the reason they keep that one a 3-point victory.
Pickens has won a title both in the MLS and in the US Open Cup, which he did as a goalkeeper with Chicago. Loves his trophies. Davis, left-footed service is lobbed towards Wynn. It's over his head, hunted down by Vines, pumped high into the Tennessee sky. It's forwarded by Martinez and cleaned up by Akinyoti, but sprayed to Cordell Cato. Reed's been impressive, as has Washington. And now Nashville a chance to build. Win the goal scorer. Kimura on the flank. Wynn trying to turn in. Kimura's in the area. Player down, and a foul goes on Nashville. We've been told that Matt LaGrassa will be coming in for Nashville shortly, as substitutions being prepared for both sides. Oh, big collision. Nashville player down, and because this is a clash of heads and Taylor Washington goes down, and I think he's cramping, which is probably good news looking at the way that collision occurred. It looked like a clash of heads, and that's what drew the quick whistle. So in soccer, there's no whistle if a player is down injured until the ball goes out of bounds, but if it is a suspected head injury, the official does have the opportunity to stop the play. And Washington took a wallop.
Yeah, shoulder to
Joel
shoulder.
Johnson.
Good, really nice to not see the head make contact there. Dangerous play. No malicious intent there, of course, just effort and then working on the cramps there, it looks like, so all's well.
And Washington, a thumbs up to the sideline. You know he doesn't want to come out. Got to make sure everybody knows he's good. Message received by Gary Smith. Washington has been special tonight. He has bottled up Joel Johnson, one of the best outside backs in the USL.
Has not called his name a lot tonight, much like the rest of the offense. Obviously that last little rally there for Charlotte, a lot of opportunity robbed by Matt Pickens, but a lot of credit to Taylor Washington for the job he's done so far.
So fans, if you're new to soccer and you're wondering what just happened, when an official blows the ball dead during the run of play, it's technically a drop ball at wherever the ball was when the whistle sounded. And much like a face-off in hockey, the two teams can really kick it right when the referee drops the ball, but because Nashville had a player injured, it's the sportsman thing to do is to send it back to the other team that didn't have the player injured, which would be Charlotte. So the tradition is the long time tradition is to send it back to the team that did not have the injured player. So there's no advantage for players going down injured in soccer.
Not sure that same sportsmanship exists in
I don't think you're going to get that hockey in the playoffs over at Bridgestone Arena. Can you imagine that? A drop puck sent back to the defense of an NHL team. I'll have your say in who becomes the USL Player of the Month for March, and which players earn the USL Goal of the Month and Save of the Month awards by casting your vote this weekend at uslsoccer.com. Boy, Allen Wins is going to be up there. It is the difference tonight so far in the 63rd minute. It's Nashville SC Soccer presented by Mill Creek Brewing Company. Long ball. Cox beaten to it by Duckett. Still waiting on that substitution to bring Matt LaGrassa in. Charlotte with 2 substitutions as well. Kai Fajer was their lone change, in Nashville yet to make a substitution, although it is coming imminently. We've been told it is perhaps Taylor Washington who will be coming out.
A great win by Akinyoti there to get the whole play started, flip the field, now back in the offensive zone. He has been all over the field making plays tonight for Nashville SC.
Johnson finding inroads down the right side. Connects with Cato, sweeping it through. Calvert running on. Calvert goes down in the box, looking for the penalty, and the official Elvis Usmanovic uses the somebody got the ball signal, using his hands to demonstrate that the tackle did collect some sort of the ball, and that's why there was no penalty. But boy, Calvert had a good chance there on goal, and Charlotte starting to show signs of life here, Braden.
If you're going to make that challenge, you better be sure in that spot on the field that you're going to get the ball.
We'll get a Kroger replay in just a second. Johnson. Cato, Johnson. First time service. In the way was Davis, and here's a look at the play in the box.
Excellent send there by
Calvert. Yeah, Davis did get the ball.
No question.
Bourgeois certainly didn't, but Davis had already made the challenge.
Another steady play by Justin Davis.
Charlotte's humming now. really building their chances. Martinez tried to turn to the left foot, and the flag was up. So a player was offside. I don't think it was Martinez, perhaps the player who played him in. And a Nashville player is down. And there is Matt LaGrassa being prepared as the substitute. LaGrassa has played in all 3 games this season. This will be his 4th appearance. Scored twice in the preseason, yet to score so far in the regular season. And Gary Smith said he is, quote, a box-to-box all-action player. And there is the number 23. That is Taylor Washington, who will exit. And Washington was cramping moments ago, and still is cramping. Smiles from Washington. He has done a fabulous job against Joel Johnson and Cordell Cato. Probably one of the top 3 right sides of any team in the league. Johnson and Cato. And now Matt LaGrassa will be brought in, and he's got to police that side or help Nashville clog it at least, as LaGrassa more of a central midfielder.
Taylor Washington, since entering the game against Pittsburgh in the 62nd minute, has basically not left the starting lineup and has been absolutely what this team needed on offense outside. But to have a guy with that kind of experience, and Matt LaGrassa coming in with lots of playing time this year, a big positive for Coach Gary Smith to be able to go to a player like that.
And I'm curious to see where LaGrassa is put. We'll find out in a second as Michael Cox with the possession. Plucked out by Martinez. Contested by Cox. In the end, it's a throw for Martinez. By the looks of it, it appears to be a like-for-like substitution. At LaGrassa will go to a more outside position where Washington was occupying. That's the first time I've really seen LaGrassa play in the center of the pitch. He's played in the center of the pitch for most of the season. It's the first time I've seen him out wide.
Excellent preseason from Matt LaGrassa. Earned himself a starting spot. Got himself into the starting lineup, and now is another chance. A really critical charge here against some really talented offensive weapons for Charlotte.
LaGrassa's first touch back for Davis. And the second touch he wasn't expecting to make. Cato squaring up on Doyle. Loves to run at players. Cato trying to take him to the inline. Cato's service deflected by Doyle. Punched away. Can Davis keep this in bounds? He can't. And taking a big collision in the back was Melodo of Nashville. Can't make the next match. Head to one of our 28 Middle Tennessee pub partner locations. Official pubs of Nashville SC are the perfect place to grab a pint, talk soccer, and watch every match of the 2018 season with fellow supporters. For a list of locations and more information, visit NashvilleSC.com. Our town, our clubs, our pubs. I had the chance to watch with the supporters last weekend against Bethlehem, and I'll tell you, it is quite an experience.
Tuck it there with a little extra physical contact on Melodo. Melodo up, seems to be doing just fine.
Kamura has been tireless down this wing, and he's earned a corner kick. Kosuke Kamura, the Japanese midfielder, has willed Nashville forwards in some moments. The first ever Japanese-born player to ply his trade in MLS. Was a player under Gary Smith in Colorado. He is trusted so much by the manager. And he has earned the Coca-Cola corner kick. Can Nashville find its second in the 70th minute? Third Nashville corner of the day. Davis hoists it in. Doyle heads it back across the face of the goal. Jump ball, Bourgeois got a head to it. And Dykstra was steady on his line. And again, it is Bradley Bourgeois, not the tallest player by any means, but he is a menace in the box.
Another accurate service there into the box, and Doyle put it right back in. And Bourgeois got it on frame. Not a lot of heat on it, but got it on frame.
Herrera trying to loosen the right foot. Sends it across the face of goal. Oh, first time opportunity. And a real good chance for Calvert.
There's another look at the corner. Again, Doyle sending it right back in. And Bourgeois, again, like you said, not the tallest player, has been involved in the scrums a lot tonight.
And that was a sneaky good chance on the other end for Calvert. Had it teed up on his dominant foot. Couldn't direct it on the target that Matt Pickens has been defending all night. The USL's official Facebook page brings you the best from across the league with news, highlights, and interactive features like the USL on Facebook to get the league's best content delivered to you. You've got all the social medias, don't you, Braden?
No Instagram for me.
No Instagram?
The 18-month-old daughter has an Instagram. She's very active on the socials.
Oh, that's a problem.
But I'm Twitter's only, just the Twitters.
Twitter verified.
They give that to everybody.
As is
days.
not me. Here comes the cross from Johnson. Sure defending from Nashville. And with the maestro in the goal, Matt Pickens, always conducting his orchestra of defenders. Johnson has moved farther up the pitch. Trying to spring Cato. Bargoed by Davis. Fager, Champions League player. Delivers to Cato, rolls to Johnson. First time service. This is dangerous. Tapped around. Shot deflected on the way, and then LaGrassa chopped down. And again, it is Charlotte trying to find the equalizer, and they continue to knock on the door.
A lot of people in the way on this. A lot of defenders in position. And of course, with the nice one touch there from Herrera, and a lot of guys in the way.
Did you see who came back to block the shot from Calvert?
This
is not a test.
Is this number 19?
It is number 19. It is Alan Webb. Part soccer player. Part endurance athlete. Johnson. Johnson's really starting to make an impression on this game. He's been given free rein. Now he's operating on the left side of the field. Here he is with the ball, able to turn. Cross it in, back post towards Cato, and LaGrassa, the substitute, has had a lot to do.
That is where Johnson is at his finest. Loves to send that ball in again. The top crossers in the USL thus far and early on in the season.
It's a Coca-Cola corner kick. Herrera, the Colombian, to take it. Corner comes in, low driven. Chance here, and cleared away. It looked like Bilal Duckett, the center back, had the best opportunity at it, and now Nashville a chance to counterattack. They've sprung it wide, and on his horse is Matt LaGrassa. One-on-one against Fazer. Melodo splits two defenders. Reed turning upfield. Michael Reed, the captain. Michael Reed sends it to the end line. Cross by Wynn. Offside.
Gary Smith gonna love that action there as it goes back and forth, switching it up. A lot of people getting involved, a lot of connectivity.
It's time to vote for today's Budweiser Man of the Match. Find the poll at the official Nashville SC Twitter account at Nashville SC. I think pundits may have a clear-cut favorite in this one for the Budweiser Man of the Match.
Yeah, I think it's going to be obviously, when Matt Pickens makes saves like that, you can always look at him, but no question about it. Number 19, Alan Wynn, has had a huge impact, and that was going to be the game plan coming in. Kosuke Kimura is going to be a big part of that game plan as well, and they have executed thus far. Got to finish for Nashville SC.
We'll tell you the final results as we get closer to the finish. But Wynn, the only goal scorer in this one, with a superb goal in the first half. A slaloming, sweeping run that he plants in the bottom corner of the goal. Sent the supporters into a frenzy. Saw a flash of Rapapa Mensah warming up. The dangerous Ghanaian striker. Johnson, cross comes in. Pickens. makes the catch.
Confident coming off his line as he has been all season, directing traffic. Pretty solid strike into the box there. Not sure what Herrera's doing with the right hand.
Ball one in the midfield by Reed. LaGrassa switching and no one home. It's out near the Nashville bench, and well, Nashville's been preparing substitutions for a while. Nada Taha is lurking around the players who are warming up. Nada, what is the story on the Nashville sideline?
Yeah, Rapava Mensah's coming in for Michael Cox, it seems like, and Coach Gary Smith wants him in there fast. He's not happy.
Well, Gary Smith is going to get his wish as Michael Cox's day is done. The Calgarian will exit at an active first half. Didn't hear too much from him in the second. And in comes a crowd favorite, Rapava Mensah, until Allen Wynn's first half strike. Rapava Mensah was the only Nashville SC player to have scored in this stadium. Did it in the preseason friendly against Atlanta United. He is technically on loan from a team in Ghana called Inter Allies. Nashville does have the right to purchase Rapava Mensah at the end of the season, and the 6'4" Ghanaian will step in a big game, in a big moment, 78th minute.
A guy with a lot of athletic ability, a lot of talent. And as you mentioned, Michael Cox, an excellent few minutes in the first half. Just time to make a change. This is what Mensah's role has been all season.
He's a big, explosive, powerful player. Only played 69 minutes so far in this regular season. Still rounding into shape. Not necessarily a full 90 player just yet, but Gary Smith sees a huge role for him going forward. Free kick for Nashville on the offensive end. Sent towards Bourgeois, heads it across the face of the goal. Forwarded by Herrera. Laced by Meloto to Allen Wynn. Wynn is absolutely tireless to the inline. Showing good patience, trying to take his defender one-on-one, and he thought he had won the corner kick. Instead, it will be a goal kick for Charlotte.
Boy, an unbelievable touch by Meloto to get that ball outside to win, and spoiled there by the defense, but over the shoulder, one touch out wide. That's why Lebo Meloto is who he is.
Being told Charlotte is preparing substitutions as well. We'll get you that in a second, as Joel Johnson has made a run forward. Lace to Cato, swept across the 6. And sprinting away is Mensah, guarded by Kalunji. Ball goes out of bounds, and that'll give Charlotte a chance to make their substitution. It is Sam Vines who will check out, and Jake Ehrman, the former Monmouth player who was brought in as a trialist at the beginning of the season and then signed to a full-time contract. This is his USL debut after making the bench on the first 3 games this season. And he is not yet to play until tonight. Here's his first contribution. And he's whistled for the foul. Ehrman, 22 years old. Been told he can play both midfield and defense, and he takes out Sam Vines, who is operating as the outside back for Charlotte. So Mike Jeffrey's looking for a little bit more offense, and he turns to Ehrman.
Another win there by Kimura, a guy that's just like Allen Wynn, has been up and down the pitch. Offense, defense, excellent two-way game for him. Physicality, part of his game as well.
Meloto does well to keep possession. The South African. LaGrassa. Mensah was offside. Flag would have come up had he addressed the ball. Instead, Charlotte plays on. Tonight's Ashton real estate attendance is 7,487. Over 7,000 fans tonight on a day that it snowed.
In April, in Nashville.
This city loves this team. From the second they stepped onto the pitch, from the second it was announced, the hype has been building and building, and now Nashville a chance to get its first 3 points at home. They have 3 points on the road coming last week, but if they can hold on in this game, well, those supporters will certainly be happy. And this momentum will continue to build.
Obviously, you'll take the red card at the 5th minute, but you can't bank on that kind of thing happening every week. And a very different performance against a very different team this week.
The red card you're referencing was the last game against Bethlehem that really dissolved any chance of a normal game, because a PK was given as well and Michael Cox scored. But this has been a through and through strong game from Nashville from start to finish, although Charlotte has looked a lot more dangerous here in the last 20 minutes. Doyle has been superior in the air. And now Nashville looks for the long ball. Mensah.
Charlotte just way too talented on offense, way too many good players to not expect some sort of offensive pressure in the last 30 minutes, and they have delivered. Just haven't been able to finish. Obviously a wonderful save by Matt Pickens. But you knew this was coming.
Mensah has posted up in the box. Martinez, Herrera, Calvert. Doyle came in challenging hard, and it's fallen to Calvert, who is on his horse. Calvert squares it across. Cato nearly got a foot to it, but Matt LaGrassa at a full sprint recovers just in time.
Bourgeois also as well working very hard to get back into the mix there and just disrupt a little bit.
Rogers' cross was weakened. And now if you're Nashville, what do you do tactically? I mean, you're looking at an 83rd minute game. You're leading by 1. Don't necessarily hunker back and park the bus.
Just every touch needs to be.
Reed. So was trying to take the pass in, but Johnson was the first to it.
Supporters trying to serenade this squad to 3 points here.
Charlotte has used the full width of the pitch. Herrera, service. How about Liam Doyle in this game? The man from the Isle of Man. It's gotten in the way of so many of these crosses. It's a quick restart for Charlotte as we take a look at the replay.
Another excellent ball by Herrera on the replay there. He's been dangerous the last 20 minutes.
Charlotte continues to build. It's Martinez trying to catch Matt Pickens on the near post, and you're not going to fool the experienced goalkeeper.
The Isle of Man, by the way, small, tiny island. For those of you who've never been there, between Great Britain and Ireland. Very, very small.
5th richest nation in the world.
It's not a bad bullet point to have on your bio line there as a country.
Liam Doyle. We call him the Manx man. If you're from the Isle of Man, you're a Manx. Substitution for Charlotte.
Number 20, Richard Perez.
Henry Kaluji will come out.
Henry Kaluji.
The defender from Uganda will exit.
Tonight's
And in his
Budweiser
place
man of the
is
match, as
Ricardo
voted by you,
Perez.
is number 19, Alan Wynn.
Perez, the Mexican midfielder, played college soccer at Creighton. 22-year-old was the 2016 Big East Midfielder of the Year. He's appeared in every game, although he's only accumulated 10 total minutes this season. And he'll replace the center back Kalungi. So Charlotte trying to spring some more offensive players in there to nick a goal and try and come out of here with a point.
Really fortunate there, the strike from Charlotte going off the hindquarters of the referee. Nashville gains possession, really lucky there.
Time to announce our man of the match. Tonight's Budweiser man of the match, voted on by you, the fans. Well, it's that man, Alan Wynn, the lone goal scorer, and so deserving. I imagine you can see the actual statistics of the vote, but I would guess it was a landslide.
Excellent performance by him. Just his second start has been the energy, has been the activity, two-way player, back into the box on both sides of the pitch. It's just excellent performance by Alan Wynn this evening.
And now we're going to see a special debut for Nashville. It is David Edgar, the new signing, who will come in, and he will replace Lebo Maloto.
Substitution in the 87th minute.
Edgar, over 40 caps and appearances for the Canadian national team, was signed this week, arrived over the weekend. And what a resume he has. Over 20 Premier League appearances. His second ever Premier League game for Newcastle United was against Manchester United. He scored in that game after defending Cristiano Ronaldo all match long. And here he is in his debut in Nashville goal. Edgar's an interesting story. Came back to MLS 2 years ago and then was injured in an off-season hit-and-run accident. Had a major knee injury and has rehabbed his way back onto the pitch. As Mensah is onside. Ropapa Mensah a one-on-one against George. It's Ropapa Mensah, slowed up by two defenders. Lays it across for Reed. LaGrassa on the corner to the 18. Defended by Ehrman. And LaGrassa going to take him to the corner. And Ehrman does a nice job to win the possession back. And then LaGrassa poked the ball away at the last moment. And it's not going to be appreciated by Elvis Osmanovic, the official. Give him a little finger wag.
Savvy move. Wasted some time, of course, before that.
So the substitution, Edgar for Maloto, clearly means that Nashville is trying to hunker down as Wynn got demolished by Johnson. A flying challenge by Johnson, and he wags his finger in the face of Elvis Osmanovic, and he has got to be careful here. Johnson is towing the line. And Martinez in the grill of the official as well.
Has to be some frustration there.
Here's the challenge from Johnson.
A clear first touch by Alan Wynn. And a rough finish by Johnson. Well deserved. I'm not sure what he's upset about there. There has to be some frustration.
Frustration, absolutely. And he really nearly got himself expelled from this game with the reaction. Nashville can stick in the dagger here against top of the table Charlotte. Alan Wynn puts in the service. Dykstra makes the catch.
Guess who? On the backside there. Bradley Bourgeois again. On the back end of the service and almost able to put that one home.
90th minute. Charlotte leads the league in goals with 8 this season. They have found opportunities hard to come by tonight. Mensah is onside. A one-on-one against George. Tries to take him off the dribble. Mensah, a quick snapshot. No problem for Dykstra. 2 minutes of stoppage time is the word at First Tennessee Park. Maybe one last thrust for Charlotte. Martinez, Pickens, able to collect once more, and his shutout streak continues to grow. Tense times, Braden. Nashville just trying to hold on for 3 points. Mensah in a battle with George, and Mensah has one out. Ropapa Mensah! It's him again! He just loves to score at this stadium, and Nashville is stuck in the dagger.
Excellent settle there. Nice battle physically, just a little delicate touch. The keeper way off his line. Dykstra out of position, and it rolls in gently for a 2-0 lead.
It'll be all 3 points for Nashville. Ropapa Mensah, the icing on the cake. The supporters who will brave any weather situation get the result that they came for. And what a job Gary Smith has done. Nashville is going to top league-leading Charlotte. And the boys in gold will move to 7 points this season through 4 games. Unless some sort of miracle happens here for Charlotte.
Really remarkable start to a franchise's existence to come out against a team this good and this capable.
And there's the final whistle. Nashville SC in its first USL game at First Tennessee Park. They shut out the league's most explosive offense, the Charlotte Independents, who came in with 8 goals this season through just 3 games. It's a big donut next to the Charlotte name, and it's 2 goals for Nashville and 3 big points in the table for Gary Smith's squad.
We've seen a lot of unbelievable saves this season from Matt Pickens. He only needed the one tonight. I think a lot of credit goes to the defense. Liam Doyle, excellent in the air. Washington, the whole collective, great team effort. Alan Wynn, the man of the match, putting it home when he needed to. Really a tremendous all-around team effort, and the supporters very happy.
This city, this team, they are putting on a show in soccer. Alan Wynn, the goal scorer, he blew this game open. Congratulations from his coach, Gary Smith. Ropapa Mensah with the final firework in this one as Nashville takes it over Charlotte. Nashville SC has won 2 straight games. It's 3 points tonight in Middle Tennessee. We'll be back with highlights after this. scenes at First Tennessee Park, where Nashville has claimed its first 3 points in front of its home supporters. The goal scorer, the second one there, it's Ropapa-Mensah. Michael Reed, the captain, fired up as well. We've been told Justin Davis was handed a libation by the home supporters and gladly obliged. Matt LaGrassa, the substitute, who came in with a big-time shift, and it is all smiles for Nashville SC as they top previously undefeated Charlotte 2-0. And we welcome you into our post-game show. I'm John Freeman, joined by Braden Gall. And Braden, look at these scenes. Soccer in Nashville, it has arrived in full force.
Yeah, and the way Justin Davis played, he didn't score. That's his traditional celebration. I think he's earned it. Clean sheet against one of the best offenses in the entire conference and the entire league. A couple of excellent saves by Matt Pickens, but really just an unbelievable game all around by the entire team, Alan Wynn especially.
Let's take a look at how we got this result as Nashville claims all 3 points. It was the boys in gold who started out pressing the issue quite quickly, and the goal scorer, Alan Wynn. Take a look at this goal. A little slip up by the defenders, and then it is all 19.
A beautiful ball by Kamara, also a big part of the play. Alan Wynn cuts back to the left. Beautiful left foot there.
It was Nashville's first goal from the run of play this season, and then in the dying embers of this game, well, why don't you just go route one? Matt Pickens, well, he picks up the assist, and it's Ropapa-Mensah with the finish, and that's all she wrote.
The dagger there, as you mentioned, and Ropapa-Mensah, the late game specialist now, scores against Atlanta United as well, and this really, the save of the game by Matt Pickens as Herrera with a beautifully struck ball and a wonderful save, diving to his left to punch it away. The only one he really had to make the entire night.
Here are your final stats. Well, there were questions about Nashville's offensive capabilities this season. Those questions have been answered emphatically tonight.
Yeah, came in 26th in the league. 21st in the league in terms of shots. They get 12 tonight, 2 goals, 4 on frame. That possession there at 50%. Of course, Nashville dominant in the first 35 minutes. Charlotte obviously taking it to them, trying to tie it up, even out that possession. But that's a misleading number there. I think Nashville clearly had the better of Charlotte as far as possession.
And there is Matt Pickens enjoying his moment with the supporters. I don't know if he even knows he got the assist technically.
You don't think so?
The long ball over the top. Oh, he even knows how to take the selfie now that he's got the gloves off. What a scene this is. And if you're thinking about coming to a game, it's going to be a while before the next one, May 13th versus Louisville on Mother's Day here at First Tennessee Park. The next match, though, on the road as Nashville, 3 straight traveling games. It'll be Indy 11 right here on MyTV 30. Keep going with the selfies, Mr. Pickens.
He's earned it.
And that is Saturday at 11 o'clock. We will have that game against Indy 11 from Lucas Oil Stadium.
Just a quick 3.5 hours up to that match. Not too bad.
Absolutely. Hey, I want to say a quick thank you to our corporate sponsors, Nashville SC's corporate sponsors, Nissan, Vanderbilt Health, Dex Imaging, Budweiser, Puckett's, Kroger, Heineken, Coca-Cola, MyTV 30, and Fox 17. Braden, your final thoughts on this one, sir?
I just think overall you have to step back from this and go, what an unbelievable start to a franchise's season. First ever, 4 different buildings, 4 different stadiums you've played in, 4 different matches, and you end up with 7 points, 2 wins, a draw, and a loss to the defending champions on the road. I think if you're Gary Smith and you're the supporters and you're the players, you're extraordinarily proud of the work you've done in the first 4 matches. Really a remarkable start to the season.
It was a scene to behold today. Nashville gets the win over Charlotte. And, well, we'll tell you again, only or less than 400 season tickets remain for Nashville SC. You might want to snap them up soon. The next home game at May 13th, Mother's Day, against the defending champions, Louisville. Hey, stay up to date on everything Nashville SC. Visit NashvilleSC.com/fan club and become a member of our free fan club to receive the Nashville SC newsletter, special promotional offers, and discover all of the latest team updates. Braden, thank you so much for filling in. It was a pleasure to broadcast the game with you, sir.
No, a ton of fun to be here. The supporters are great. The team played, again, a complete effort, and consummate professional as yourself made it easy for me, so thank you.
And good luck on the birth of your new child.
Yes, coming Tuesday.
That's all she wrote from First Tennessee Park. Charlotte came in undefeated, 2-1-0 overall. Alan Wynn struck in the first half. Matt Pickens put up a wall for the rest of the game. There were confrontations. Justin Davis got into it. Matt Pickens was absolutely unstoppable in the net. Mike Jeffries certainly didn't like what he saw on the field, and it was all celebrations for Nashville SC. Alan Wynn embracing the supporters. Ropapa Mensah gets a late goal, and Nashville SC has won 2 straight games. The boys in gold take it tonight over league-leading Charlotte. Thanks so much for watching.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.